This is the Galeon 560 Fly, and it has its world debut here at the Miami Boat Show. It has a similar underwater profile to the old 550, which it now replaces, but from there upwards, Tony Castro has done something totally fresh for this latest generation of Galeon Flybridge. It's got 3 cabins on board, it's twin shaft drive, it's got more glass than the Empire State Building and more party tricks than David Blaine. Let's get on board and have a closer look. I'm Jack Haines, welcome to YachtBuyer. Let's start back here then, and I'm already noticing some nice detail, like the fact the teak just noses down over the end of the bathing platform here. You've got the 560 badge, the Galeon Yachts inside the teak. It looks really classy, and the nosing extends down the steps here as well. It does set a very nice tone. Now, of course, this is a hydraulic bathing platform, drops down into the water, and you can see here you've got your steps integrated into the platform itself. So as it goes down, you get a nice stairway down into the water. Boarding ladder is over on this side. Set into the transom here, we just have this little flip down bench so you can sit and look out over the water. In there is a standard crew cabin on this boat, and it's surprisingly good for a boat of this size. We'll obviously look at that at the end of the tour. But for now, let's head up to the main event, which is inside the cockpit. So there's access only up the port side on this model, to give you as much space for this L-shaped seating as possible. But let's head straight to the good stuff, the balconies. Now, these are not new. Galeon have been doing these for a while now, but what they've done now, and they've had this on the larger models, but now you have glass inset into the balconies. So when they're up, you have a better view out. If you're sitting in the dinette in the cockpit, you have a less broken view out over the water. But when they're down, you have this lovely effect of being able to stand hovering over the water. It works absolutely brilliantly, and of course you've got the railings in here that you don't have to put in, but just adds an extra element of safety. You'll also notice there's a hatch here in the deck, and there's a button down there. That's so when the balconies are up, you have a boarding gate on both sides, so you can get out onto the quay side from here rather than having to go down onto the bathing platform. Now, this is a familiar sort of arrangement to the 500 Fly, where you have the bar area here. These doors slide open. There's a pop-up section here, so you can complete the bar feel. Let's see if I can do that actually. So you just pop this up. There you go. You extend the galley counter, and then you have your bar, which looks into the boat and then out the other side. It's a really great effect. Of course, these stools pop out. You stow them away for when the boat is going along. We move over to the other side, past the big L-shaped dinette. It's a really nice, comfortable space. Good high backrest. That's what I like to see. We're on to the other terrace again. Glazing set in to the deck, another sliding door, and this is a new feature for this size of boat. So on the 500 you had a two-way sofa. On this you have these 2 separate seats, 2-way backrests, and this table opens up so it can either come out here and you can put the backrest the other way and sit looking out over the water, or you can have it as it is now, facing into the boat opposite the galley. I think that's a really clever arrangement and quite a good upgrade over what they've offered thus far on this part of the boat. I think that works brilliantly. Heading forward, nice easy access up onto the side decks. These are really good and wide. I don't have to twist and shuffle to move down here. Lovely high substantial guardrails, and then a really big side door, which of course we'll have a closer look at from inside the boat. Then it's a couple of steps up onto the foredeck. And this is a Tony Castro design. He's been designing Galeons for years now. This has a new style, this sort of shovel nose style, which gives you not only a nice flat foredeck up here, but a lot more volume in the VIP cabin below, which of course we're going to look at in a moment. And this doesn't have the sort of pushing, sliding seating that you had on the 500 Fly. They've made it a little bit more simple on this model. So you have this fixed bench in front of the windscreen. This is sunbathing space, and you have these backrests that can either flip this way to create extended sunbathing space, or as they are now, to create a bench opposing this bench over here. They've still managed to work in a nice strip of glazing and a skylight down the deck, again drawing natural light and ventilation down into the VIP cabin. But what's really nice is how easy it is to move around this area. There's no steps, it's totally flat. You've got really nice high tow rails and good guardrails up to knee level here. It feels a very safe boat to move around on. Let's head up to the Flybridge. Up top then, and there's a really good mix of freestanding and fixed furniture up here. We've got a nice pair of Galeon sun lounges back here, but this really is just open space for you to do with what you want. And then they've split the wet bars, so this is actually just a fixed top with a nice solid handhold so you can steady yourself when you get up to the Flybridge. The ice maker's down there. Then over on this side you have the fridge. You have a fridge under the counter, you have a top loading fridge, you have your sink here, and then you have your grill here. And there's some really clever stuff going on amidships actually. So you have these two identical U-shaped seating areas. But what's really smart is if you've got a big group of people, you can open up these tables and they join together to become one enormous dining space. And having these two tables that both open and close just give you enormous flexibility up here. People eating around here, you know, people chilling out having a drink here. It makes it incredibly flexible. But that's just a very simple and very brilliant bit of design. Two-way backrests on both of these seats. So as you can see, if you want to use this to dine, I can just flip this way, but then flip it like that and it becomes your Helm seat. And this is a really good spot. I like the focus on ergonomics. I criticise the 500 Fly for everything being too far away from that upper helm. This is not the case here. Look how nice and close these throttles are to me. I've got a cup holder right by my leg here, adjustable wheel right in front of me, and then it's a very clean, simple arrangement. Two big Raymarine MFDs, Volvo Penta screen for your engine information, fusion repeater, and then some hard buttons for the anchor, horn, lights, things like that you don't want to be diving into menus for. Now this boat is running on Volvo Penta D11 725s on shaft drives. There is no IPS option on this boat. That'll give you about 32 knots flat out and cruise at 25 knots for around 250 nautical miles. Okay, that's the numbers. Let's go downstairs and have a look inside. Very clever door arrangement on this boat. So on this side you have a normal door that opens like this, and then these bifold, they sort of split and then slide all the way over, so you have this enormous opening, again making the most of just how open this back end is. The connection between the outside and the inside of this boat is completely unrivaled in this sector. It is absolutely lovely, and you've got a fantastic galley space here as well. It's a really practical shape. You can wedge yourself in if you're in here when the boat's out at sea. You've got a nice big sink, and of course this connection to the people outside, the terraces. I've got a lovely breeze running through here. You wouldn't need the aircon on in this boat unless it was a stinking hot day with no breeze, but if you're on the water, that really shouldn't be an issue. I love the way you get the natural ventilation through this boat. Lots and lots of storage through here. You've got induction cooking, Samsung oven, microwave down there, and then I wonder if they're targeting the American market. Look at the size of these fridges. Really good size. Couple of chest fridge freezers down here, and opposite this lovely little breakfast dinette, which makes so much sense in this area. It works brilliantly. And moving forward, I really like the tones in here, the choice of colours, this sort of grey, dark wood, the light material. It works really, really nicely. It looks very classy, but it also looks and feels very usable and very comforting, homely. Really nice, and the detailing is lovely. You know, the downlighters mounted up here on the walls, the strip lighting, this ceiling detail. The television obviously pops up from behind the sofa here. Gone are the days when it was all very shiny, very glitzy on Galeon. They've toned it down and it works absolutely brilliantly. It feels incredibly high quality, I have to say. And they've changed up the helm design a little bit on this model. So you have this two-person bench. It's nice and clean, much like upstairs. There isn't too much to distract here. You've got your two Raymarine MFDs, these lovely flush-mounted controls. There's good uniformity. You have your, solid switches down here that are easy to get to. A couple of cup holders. I like the fact you've got the material down here on the lower dash with the little Galeon 560 logo. It works really, really well. And a key part of how well it works is the side door. You can open this up, get yourself some natural ventilation. Of course, it gives you great access out onto the boat as well. Single piece windscreen on this boat, which does tend to lead to bigger mullions, but they've thought of that because you've got these big quarter lights here as well. So actually, there isn't much of a blind spot, and you get the benefit of the lovely big single piece windscreen. It's really well arranged. Let's head downstairs and have a look at where you sleep. It's a 3-cabin arrangement with doubles at either end, and then there's a twin here on the starboard side. It hasn't got a bathroom, but you've got the day heads over on this side, so it's just over the lobby into the bathroom, which is shared with this, the VIP. So the VIP is en suite to that bathroom, but it is shared with the 3rd cabin. And I mentioned on deck about the shovel nose design and how much volume that gives you down here, and I hope you can see the effect of that, because they have really pushed this cabin out to the far widths of the boat, and the effect is wonderful. Masses of headroom in here. I'm 6 foot tall and I've got so much room over my head, and you can't help but spot the enormous windows either side of this boat, and you really feel that effect down here. There aren't opening sections in the windows in this cabin, but you have got your skylight overhead for a bit of natural ventilation. It's a nice flat floor around the end of the bed. There's a good amount of space in the bed to get changed, and you can get into the bed very easily because it's set nice and low. You've got a television mounted up on the bulkhead, full height hanging locker over on the starboard side, and then, as I said, direct access to the bathroom, which is a really decent size, nice separate shower cubicle, and finished beautifully as well. And there are some other nice little details, like if I just close this door, you've got this little bureau with a stool that tucks under there. You know, all these nice little additions that just make life on board that bit more pleasant. Heading amidships, as I said, that's the door to the day head access. We have another door here, and we're into the owner's stateroom. Down here on the port side, this boat hasn't actually got it fitted, but this is where you could have a washer dryer if you wanted. And it's a couple of steps down, but then once you're into the cabin, it's all on one level. Again, you can get a sense of the headroom in here. Really, really good. And again, this is a really nicely arranged cabin. Clever use of space. Having your wardrobes tucked over in these corners, they're identical. That works really well. And again, just look at the attention that's gone to the materials here, the backlighting behind this, the mix of wood and material, and the detailing in the bathroom is lovely as well. It really is. Nice big television mounted up on this bulkhead. This is all just storage along here, and then you've got another little bureau down there with a lovely view out the whole window. Again, no opening ports in here, so you can't get any natural ventilation, which is a bit of a shame. Of course, it is air conditioned though, so you're not going to be overheating. Right, let's head to the engine room. So at the moment, the only arrangement you can have back here is the L-shaped seating with the crew cabin, which is standard. You haven't got the rotating seating option that you have on the 500 Fly as it stands. But what you do have is a seriously impressive crew space for a boat of this size. So obviously this hatch lifts up, it's all part of the transom, and then you're down a few steps and met with an amazingly spacious cabin for a boat of this size. They've got a strip of glazing here in the transom, so you've got some natural light. It's all air conditioned, so it's lovely and cool down here. There's some worktop and a sink, 2 berths, you've got a couple of bunks, so you can sleep 2 crew down here, and then a separate bathroom with another washer dryer down here. But it genuinely is nice enough occasionally to have guests, certainly kids, teenagers in here. It would be perfectly comfortable for them. And the other nice feature is you have direct access from here into the engine room through a watertight door. Now, as you can see, it's crouching room only in here, but they have at least not finished the floor in checker plate, so it doesn't absolutely kill your knees and feet to crawl around in here. There's a bit of carpet on top of this engine because we're at the boat show, they've stowed it here, so excuse that, but you can see how the engines look over on this side, and access to them is very good indeed. You can get over both sides. There's actually a decent amount of room over the top of them. The generator is spotted aft here, essentially. Again, very easy to access that, and it is really, really nicely put together. Very clean insulation, very well lit as well, and on top of that access through the watertight door, there's a quick inspection hatch that you can get down from the cockpit as well. There you have it, the new Galeon 560 Fly, and take my word for it, as soon as one lands in Europe, we'll be banging on the door to give it a sea trial. But every time you think Galeon have reached the limits of what they can do on a mid 50-foot Flybridge boat, they surpass expectation. Let me know what you think about it though, get in the comments below and give me your opinion on this new model. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please do give it a like. If you want to watch my review of the 500 Fly, you can click up here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, please click up here. Thanks for watching.